tailored for you because it's a personalized service given to you because of all the data that's being collected. We go through airports, we go through everywhere you go these days, there's data being collected everywhere. I just read on the news that I think Dubai is introducing that no passport off airports where you travel without a passport because everything is going to be automated. All that information, you'll have all that information so you can travel without a passport. And facial recognition will be able to point and know that this is Peter. He's from Ghana, he lives in the US, he does that. It will give you everything. And it will be able to tell if I have a visa to come to Ghana or not. And all these things are happening because of the data that we keep building daily.
Just an aside, with just what you said in Dubai, who is leading this AI competition now?
Well, I would say it's Microsoft. And I think you can Google it. This is the truth. Microsoft just last month overtook Apple to become the most valuable company in the world, sitting on about, I think it's like $14 trillion. I don't want to kind of counter what OpenAI is doing. And so they are the leading AI researchers, or at least digging more into AI through machine learning and deep learning and all these models that they keep training every day. And it requires a lot of compute power to be able to do that, which Microsoft was like, this is a win-win for everyone. We provide you the systems, and then you are able to run. And so what we are seeing, the generative tests and all these images that we get because we are putting in some prompts in the system, and it's because there are amount of data in the background. OpenAI is the company behind it, and Microsoft is partnered with them, and so we have integrated AI into all our applications right now. So if you open a Word document on your computer, there is something we call Copilot, Microsoft's Copilot. It works just like ChatGPT. You can ask it to do anything for you. And I'll just show you, I was talking to Jared in the car coming, and I said, I cheated a bit, but I'm gonna tell the truth when I get here. I'll tell you guys the truth, because I cheated on this, and so you will see why we need to embrace AI and not to be afraid of it. So if you are looking at my computer, you will see that I have a PowerPoint presentation. I think it's about 12 slides. 12 slides. I did not do this myself. All I had to do was to tell Copilot. I just had to open PowerPoint, just a blank PowerPoint, and tell Copilot. So actually, I'll show you guys the prompt that I put in that generated this, the slides, everything with the pictures. I didn't have to do any of this. It just arranged everything. So all I had to do was, oh, sorry, I don't have internet, so it's probably not gonna pop up. But I just had to tell Copilot, with the questions that you gave me, I copied it, and I told Copilot, create slides and answer these questions for me. So every question that you gave me has been answered through this, and it's created a slide for it. So imagine this will save you tons and tons and tons of time versus going and trying to, get all of this information and putting it on the slide and coming here. It saved me a ton of time. But here is where it gets tricky because there's some people who are asking that question. Can we trust AI? How can I know these answers align really with what's really happening? Is that really the right answer? That's where your personal knowledge about AI is going to help, because I had to run through the slides and like, oh yeah, that's actually right, that's right, that's right, that's right, to validate it manually. So yes, AI is going to take a lot of what we are doing manually and automated. AI is going to take a lot of jobs, I'm not going to lie to you, but AI is also going to create a lot more other jobs as well.
Wow.
I think that you answered one of my questions as to how AI can help us personally. I want you to shed more light on it. I want you to go a bit more deeper into how AI help every professional seated here, every student seated here. Apart from what you just shared with us, how can it help them personally in their work life, in their personal life, in their study life? How will it help us? And I want you to roll this one in. What skills are you supposed to develop now in this university? What kind of AI skills are you looking at?
Okay. So let's start with the skills, and then we'll get to how this is going to help us. If you do just a simple Google search and ask, what are some of the skill sets that I need to be relevant in the IT world, you will know that 10 skills that any IT company requires now. The one that sits on top now is machine learning. So machine learning is basically how we use models to train artificial intelligence and get everything that we have seen here today. So that's machine learning. So the machines are learning to think and act like human through all the data that we are providing it. It's able to analyze and able to find patterns in data and everything. And so yes, these are some of the areas that we need to be looking at. I would also say, yes, someone was asking about coding. Yes, of course, if you can code, it's great. Because the truth is that all of these things that we are seeing is powered by algorithms, and there are people coding. There are humans behind those algorithms, and so yes, humans are always going to be needed when it comes to. I will make an example of California wildfire unit. So every year we have either on the news, millions of properties are lost through wildfires in California because it gets hot and something happens and a lot of people are displaced, people lose their properties, people are homeless during that time and all that. And now with the help of AI, they are able to predict, AI is able to predict and to tell people because it grabs a lot of data and go through them and is able to make those predictions of what is going to happen or what could happen potentially every year. And so with those predictions, you still need humans to go through them to actually validate that as well. And so if you are thinking that, I would say you just need to be in things, in areas that aligns with where the world is going as far as artificial intelligence is concerned. Last year when I was here in Ghana, just around that time, I think you all heard that there was a huge layoffs in the tech industry. Microsoft decided to lay off 10,000 people. I was freaking out here. Am I still going back to a job? Am I getting laid off? Because people were just getting the emails, sorry, we have to let you go. But during Satya, the CEO of Microsoft, his email to all Microsoft employees announcing the 10,000 people layoffs was that whilst this is happening, we are gonna strategically start hiring in strategic areas. And I'm like, wait a minute, strategic areas. And of course, we have now announced that this is the era of AI. And so we are doing and looking into everything AI. And so when Satya said in his email that we are going to hire and then we are going to invest in key strategic areas, I just knew right away. That's where I need to align myself professionally. get into AI. So I started studying AI like crazy. I took the certification and the Azure AI certification, and because I knew right there that this is where companies are going to start aligning their resources, this is where they're going to start aligning their money. And so if you want to stay relevant, if you want to catch up with what's going on, you definitely want to be in that space, because AI is here to stay. I know that she mentioned that too. AI is really here to stay. It's already changing everything. And now when it comes to how can that help me personally, for you at your job, I think there are going to be integrations in almost every job. So just be in anticipation that that's going to happen. If it's not already happening, it's going to happen at some point, because the adoption process is probably going to be slower from one place to the other. I think of it, I was saying too, that, thinking about urban areas and rural areas. Of course, I put urban areas in, like the West, or the most advanced countries in that bucket as the urban areas, and then the rural areas. I'm thinking about, unfortunately, third world countries where everything gets here when it's almost at the end of the party. That's when we kind of get it and we jump on. But I really want to encourage everyone, because this is not like the era of the rise of the internet or the rise of computers. This has come in our time. And you need to be a part of this revolution going on, because in the next 10 years, it's going to be a different conversation. You really have the opportunity now, because it's at its very early stages. Think of it, AI was just born. Even though it has been there since the 1950s, but think of it like AI was just born yesterday. What are you going to do with this? Because it's going to get integrated into everything. And so personally, on your phones, you have ChatGPT. Of course, it's going to help you save you a lot of time. For students, which is something I want to talk a little bit about, for learning and how that's going to impact education. I think for personalized learning, it's what we call adaptive learning. And so there are systems out there right now, and one of my favorites is called Smart Spiral. So what Smart Spiral is doing is that it gathers the data of students, and so if this student sitting there is called Ama Bwahima. Ama Bwahima is in a classroom, and she's studying maybe agricultural science. And so what Smart Spiral is going to do is that it's going to tailor content just for you, because it's going to learn about you, to know your weaknesses and your strength. And so what it's going to do is that it's called personalized learning. And so it's going to make teachers' jobs easier, because they will now know each student very well because of what that is doing. So now when the teacher already knows where your weaknesses are, it's going to create contents and help you to catch up in those areas that you're not strong. So these are great, amazing stuff.
Are you saying that we are making life easier, or we are making people lazy?
Well, let me answer that by asking everyone here, how long, or regards to time, do you need to stay in the library going through dozens of books to grab information to write a paper, like a thesis, something? Usually, how long does that take you? Just give me a rough number of hours.
3, 4 hours.
3, 4 hours.
The whole day.
Sometimes the whole day, or a couple of
Depending
days.
on what you are doing.
Depending on what you're doing. So it could take you a couple of days, maybe weeks, to gather all these books, to read them, and to do the. But what AI could be doing, like as we are seeing, is that AI could just browse through all these materials that are already, all these data that's already there, and give you what you are looking for. It's cooked for you. Now, what you need to do is to go in and make sure that what is put in front of me is the right deal. So you skip the part where you are doing all the research yourself. So yes, there's going to be some ramifications, of course. We're thinking about personal data privacy.
That was what I was coming to, consumer privacy. What happens? I'm going to let you come in and ask your questions very soon, but what happens to consumer privacy? All that is
Okay, I will answer that with a conversation that went on at the Microsoft campus in Fargo, North Dakota, where I live. So we have a big Microsoft campus. It's almost like maybe half the size of Legon. It's a big campus. It's the second largest campus in the world after the one in Seattle, which is our headquarters. So we had the president of Microsoft, Brad Smith, come on campus doing a book signing on his book called Tools and Weapons. So during the Q&A section, someone asked me this question: how far are we going to take AI, and where do we draw the line? And this is where consumer privacy and personal data comes in, because at what point do we know that we are not crossing the line? At what point do we know that we are all not walking naked? We are all vulnerable because our information are out there. And then he answered that by saying that right before he came to Fargo campus, he was in Italy. They met with the Pope, and they had almost like 40 minutes conversation with the Pope. And when they got up to leave and shaking hands with him, he shook hands with him, grabbed him by his arm firmly and pulled him closer and said, "Brad, I love everything I heard today. I love what Microsoft is doing. I love what you guys are doing. But with everything you do not lose your humanity." And he said, on his flight back to the US, he thought about that the entire time. Now, with that said, is there a line? Is there ever going to be a line? Of course, there is going to be a line. And Microsoft is leading this fight because, of course, the US government has been on this. We think about EU, which has always been a very strict area when it comes to data privacy and stuff like that. And so there are all sorts of agencies that are raising concerns about the future of AI and consumer privacy. And so there are systems and steps being taken to make sure that consumer privacy stays private, and that in any word advancement, there are people that are going to use it for good things, and there are people that use it for bad things. We already have deep learning where people are generating people figure and training AI personas to act as AI agents. And so it can talk like a Peter, and he sounds like me. So be careful when you put your video on YouTube or TikTok talking about something, because they can, through machine learning, grab your voice, train a machine to sound like you. They can generate your image to match with it, and everyone will be watching and think, "Oh yeah, that's Peter giving an amazing speech," but I'll probably not be there at all. So yes, there are measures within the US government to kind of make sure that we don't fly overboard.
This is also not part of my main question, but what happens to the tech war?
The what?
Tech war. China, US, and other countries that are trying to lead this whole AI.
It is an interesting one. Of course, I'm surprised we are getting into geopolitics right now. I love geopolitics, by the way. I lived in China for a very long time. Sometimes I would like to think that I lived in their head before. I know how the Chinese think. I know how they do stuff. And so, yeah, with the war on tech and everything, technology. What are you talking about China? China is a closed country because of the system of government. It's a communist war, and so they control everything. Government controls everything. Just for example, maybe if you were walking on the road and you jaywalk, you know what jaywalking is? So you see there's a crossing here, there's a all the time, which amazes me, because you see that in the middle there is a barricade and someone is trying to cross that and jump over it, and I had to do that 2 days ago, unfortunately, because I needed to get to the other side of the road, and the footbridge was way out there. Like, now I understand my brothers and sisters. I can walk all the way there, but that's risking my life to do that. In America, that's called jaywalking. You can get a ticket for jaywalking because you are not just putting your life at risk. you're putting the life of other people at risk. If a driver is driving and hits you, maybe something, it could get into a car accident. And so it's serious. Now in China, when you do something like that, or you did something ridiculous in the public, they will shame you because they capture everything and everyone. And so they'll put you on giant screens that are in shopping malls, that are at parks, that are at the train station, at the airport. So all you see is Peter Sapon, 2 days ago, was using the side of the road as a loo. Well, if you live in the loo, it's WC or toilet. So you decide to piss by the side of the road, or you decide to jaywalk, they shame you, and that affects your social credit. You get minus. And you need the social credit to find jobs in China. You need the social credit to be able to get loans, to be able to buy a car, to be able to buy a house. They look at your social credit. And so imagine if you jaywalk 10 times in a year, you're probably not in a very good standing. And so yes, because of all the data they've been collecting over the years, they are. But when it comes to the innovation of AI, that's America.
That sounds interesting. With all that has been said today, I want my audience to also ask questions. And with all that has been said, how will you predict the future of this world in the next 10 years? What will you say? How will our world be like? All this. And the second one, so that I allow my audience to ask that question, how do we catch up as a continent?
Sorry, come again?
How do we catch up as a continent?
How do we catch up
As a continent, that's Africa. So let's look at how our world will be like in the next 30 years, and how will we catch up. I know Sam is trying to do something. I don't know what we can do with Sam to get their vision to come to pass. How do we catch up? So let's start with, how will this world be like?
I think
Maybe the next time it may not be Peter Sapon and Moses, it may be your robot and my robot. You know, we'll be having this conversation.
Yes, maybe. But I would say that, you know, in the next 10 to 20, maybe 30 years, we are looking at a very bright future. I want to be very optimistic, even though there are the dangers of AI, and like I said, there are good and bad people everywhere. Bad people are always going to leverage that to do bad things, but I'm looking at the future of how the breakthroughs that we could get, you know, in the field of agriculture, particularly for me. I get really excited about AI and how we can implement AI in the area of agriculture, especially for Africa. And like, I was watching a video a couple of days ago, and it blew my mind, you know, through artificial intelligence. There is an engineer that's operating an excavator in America. He sits in Germany. He sits in Germany, and he's basically controlling it. It's working. It's running. It's digging holes and doing all these things. And now we can even talk about, you know, soil testing. You guys in agriculture, you can know more about this, I guess. That to know the nature of the soil, how good is that, how rich is that. You know, we get AI systems, you know, can help with all these to predict rainfall and how yield is going to look like in the year. You know, with more advanced AI, we are looking at a very good future when it comes to agriculture. We are looking at a very good future when it comes to the field of medicine and breakthroughs in research. I'm always in anticipation to hear something about cancer research and breakthroughs there. And I think with AI, because it's able to analyze data, is able to trace patterns, and it's able to predict good outcomes. I'm very optimistic that we are going to have a breakthrough in the medical world as well. And even in the world of technology, like I was saying, I didn't have to do a lot of work. It did all these work for me. If your grammar is not very great, you need Copilot just to tell you, hey, rewrite this for me, and it will rewrite everything for you. But I think the benefit of it is what this book is about. It's called The Art of Prompt Engineering with ChatGPT. So just knowing the right prompts to put into any bot or ChatGPT is what you get. So what you put in is what you do. So learning the art of prompt engineering, learning the right words, how do I use this tool for the greater benefit? So all these things are things that we are looking at in the future.
Wow. I think it has been a very wonderful time. I've learned a lot personally. And before I get into intelligent final words, I want to give about 4 people the opportunity to ask questions, whatever that you want to ask, based on the things that he said and things that he did not even share that he want more light on. You can get it to ask. So who's going to start? I'm going to allow my first. Yes, you can start. Introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself. Then you ask the question. Can we get a 10 microphone? Okay. Let's go.
I'm also a student of this institution. I had a lot of questions in mind. I realized that if I do not jot them down, it will escape me. So I wrote about 2 of them. Yes. So my first question is AI being as more than we, or is being as in our education? Because if AI is helping us or helping me with my assignment, project work, and helping me to generate presentations and stuff, at the end of my stay in the university, I come out graduating learning nothing. What's the essence of going to university? And then second, you said something about China, where there is camera everywhere. So how does it ensure privacy?
Okay. So there are policies in place, and I would say, unfortunately for China, like I mentioned, it's a communist country. It's not. There isn't much that you can do about it. But in a free world like America and a lot of other countries, these policies are going to help safeguard some of these things to make sure that people's privacy, people's information, and we've already heard some of these things happening now. Like Microsoft was recently sued because they realized that some data that was used to power some of our stuff was people's personal information. So stuff like that, like lawsuits would deter a lot of these companies that are building AI systems to be mindful of these personal information and the privacy of people. So that's one, policies in place to make sure that we are not violating people's privacy. And I think drawing the line is also one of the measures that are being talked right now in Capitol Hill, America, for lawmakers to make sure that there is a line as to how we advance, and even with the pace that we are training these models to be able to get to where we want to get, to slow down some of the processes so we don't get to the end of the world too quickly. So these measures in place is going to help kind of safeguard that in the future. And then to your other questions, that as a student, what's the point of going to school? What's the point of doing all these things if AI is going to do everything for me? I think what AI is going to do and would or could do is there's still a lot of borderlines when it comes to this. Like for yourself. Even today, when you go into ChatGPT, even the Model 4, and you put in certain things, it will still tell you, oh, I'm still a machine, I'm still learning on some of these things. So it's not everything that ChatGPT or AI is going to be doing or could do for you. So there is still the learning aspect for us. There is still the human side of us. Well, you can even use ChatGPT to generate whatever questions as a prosecutor, but you need to be in the court. You need, as a lawyer, you can use that, leverage that to learn, but you need to know how to present that in court. So it's not like a lost planet already because of what AI is going to be doing for us. And so to think that, well, I don't even see the point of going to school. I don't see the point of trying to learn where AI is going to help me with my research. I think what it's going to it's going to do, and it's already started doing this. It's just going to help us accelerate us into where we need to be as far as doing the things that we are doing concerned.
Okay, so I have a question for my online audience before I get back to my in-house audience. One, Lenankra is asking, to what degree should AI be trusted to provide the right information?
That's a really good question. And as I mentioned just a while ago, that there are still some questions that you ask AI, and you are, I'm a machine, I'm still learning. It learns every single day, every second. These machines are learning. They are learning. Even with the mistakes they make, they learn from them. That's the dangerous part of it, because of the power behind it. So it has the ability to learn and learn. So the models that we have seen, we can go back to in the 50s, or even in the early late 80s and early 2000s, and you would tell the difference that there's been a lot of breakthrough here when we compare online chatbots then and today. You realize that, oh wow, you get online and you're trying to talk. When I was trying to get a visa to Ghana, I went to the Ghana embassy on the website, and boom, a bot pops up, and I was shocked to know, how the information that was promptly given me and within that short time. That means that it has been trained, and so the training will keep going. It will keep learning. It will keep learning. And so now I would say you can trust AI to a certain degree, not 100% still, but it's still learning. And I can see in the next maybe 5 to 10 years, we would really get to a point where we can say that it's 99. Still not 100%, but we can say it's 99.
Recently, I had a conversation with someone. He said something very interesting. He was talking about they did a research on counseling and how if humans counsel, we have biases. But if you let an AI counsel a couple, for instance, it gets the full data of A, gets the full data of B, based on the data that is generated. What AI would say will be a little bit more accurate than what probably Moses would say, because Moses may have a bias for one person during the counseling process. Right. And that is how interesting and serious some of these things are, and when it comes to AI in the future.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to allow 3 more. Who wants to go? Please introduce yourself. Tell us your name and what's the question.
My name is Rhoda. Just like a second or two ago, you said AI is still learning. So when you say still learning, is it through observation or being full with more data?
Yes. So we are all familiar that actually when you get on ChatGPT, you ask it a question, and like I said, if it doesn't know, it learns quickly from that, and then it puts it into the system, and then data is being fed into it. And so yes, through data and also all the inputs that we are putting in daily, it picks it up, it learns, and then maybe in 2 weeks or some other time you go and you ask it the same question, it will give you answers that are different from when you first asked that. So the process is there, data is being generated every day, the models are being trained, so different outcomes are going to keep coming.
The limitation of AI is we not providing.
Yes, I would say if data, if we lack data, then we don't have anything. And it's the same thing when we look at all the breakthroughs that we are thinking or anticipating for healthcare or in the medical field. It's not like, oh, so where is that going to come from? It's just from the sky, boom, someday we have all these data. No, these are data that has been collected over the years through like pen and paper that are being digitalized today and fed into these systems to kind of give us something that was written down by a doctor maybe 20 years ago or 30 years ago, or some diagnosis that was diagnosed about 20-something years ago. So all of these data is now being pulled into that, and it's going to keep generating and keep analyzing that to find the patterns and give us the outcomes.
Excellent. Okay, let's take two more. Yes, sir.
My name is Austin. I want to ask that how can AI be harnessed to promote inclusivity and diversity? Because as we all know, we can testify to the fact that we all have different perspectives as to how things work and as to how we want our staff to work.
Okay, great. I think there was a recent research out recently where they identified that even ChatGPT kind of went wrong as far as inclusion and diversity. There were some bias there, and let's not forget these are algorithms behind everything that we are seeing, and there are people coding, there are humans behind these things, and so that's where bias needs to be checked. But it just based on data too, yes, it could create that bias as well when it comes to racism or inclusion, diversity, and all of that. I'll give an example. So now American embassies are trying to integrate AI into everything they are doing. And so if you are going for interviews and you fill out your visa application online, AI is going to grade your application and it's going to score it. And so if you get 80, that means that the counselor is just going to be a formality for the interview. You're just going to be there, and because he knows that AI has already graded you. But could there be a bias to that? I would say it's all dependent on whoever is feeding in the information. Whatever you put on, it's the same with how we realize through black hires at Microsoft, because I'm a part and the chairperson for Blacks at Microsoft for the Midwest chapter. And so we engaged HR, we had a discussion where we were talking about the number of, or the quarter of black employees and hires every year, to kind of create that inclusion and make sure that they are not being biased, towards hiring black people. So what happened, HR, I was shocked. HR, the lady answered was like, oh yeah, just recently we integrated AI to go through all of the applications that ends up in the pool of Microsoft applications. And trust me, there are thousands and hundreds of thousands of them daily. People are applying every single day. And so it got to a point that humanly it was impossible anymore. So now they use AI. Now AI is looking for some buzzwords because based on the algorithm, it's looking for some buzzwords. So if, for example, it's a sales job, it's looking for something within your resume that says, I am an amazing sales something. And so you see, if the person applying doesn't have this background, so what she told us is like, you need to educate your people. Because you may be overly qualified, but because the AI couldn't recognize or identify the buzzwords that has already been fed into it, it won't pick up your resume. Is that fair? No. That's not. And so I'm sure with time, all of these problems will be filtered out, and we will get to a better place. I'm pretty sure about that.
Okay. Let me do a lady, Emanuela, and Jonathan, and that would be it. Okay, so Emanuela and Jonathan, and because you came from Page Coast University, I won't give you an opportunity.
I think she's been raising her hand for a very long time.
Okay, so the two of you would be the last. So I have Emanuela, I have Jonathan, and I have the two of you. There we are done. Let's go.
Thank you so much. Since you were cloud engineering, I want to ask that in your speech you said only 10 people work in cloud in Microsoft all around the world. I want to ask that how has AI made impact on the security when it comes to cybersecurity because of these algorithms and technology?
I'll say that Microsoft is the single company in the world that employs the most data, cybersecurity experts in the world among all the tech companies. We have more security certification more than any other company on the planet right now. And so we take security very, very serious. And if you know our organization is more than we say, Microsoft runs on trust, which means that we want to make sure that we can trust you, you can trust us, and then the data that has been entrusted into our hands by our customers are secure. And so, yes, with the rise of AI, this has been one of the bigger questions on the minds of everyone. How are we going to secure our systems? How are we going to build better security around everything that's happening? So we, like I mentioned, we make sure we are not walking naked. And so there are systems in place to counter or to battle against cybersecurity threats every day. There are thousands of systems that Microsoft has already implemented in place. Just recently, there was a hack. I think it was fueled by some hackers, a joint effort from North Korea and Russia, trying to hack into our system. So the same thing, machine learning and these algorithms are able to detect and know where threats are coming from. So the same AI systems are going to help us even more in the area of security down the road. Thank you, Jonathan.
So, Mr. Jonathan, and there's something that really baffles me. Sometimes I'll just Google something up online, and a message from me will say, please confirm that I'm not a robot. So when it will send you somewhere where you have to give you a gray box and tell you to identify the boxes or the pictures where you find a motor bike or something. I don't get it. If AI is a simulation of human intelligence, how can't it have access to this? And this is what actually baffles me. I doubt it is actually a human being sitting behind a computer who's always asking you that, like, are you a robot? I'm sure it is an AI. So why is an AI restricting its fellow robot brother?
Well, that's an interesting one. How is AI trying to fight his own brother? Okay, I think in the world of robots, we've seen too many movies where, you know, the rise, if you watch Transformers, you know that the rise of machines and fighting each other, and is that going to be the future? No. But to your question, I think that's actually a really good, you know, authentication process that has been put in place by Google to make sure that it is the person, that you're a human, that this is a person doing this, you know. Like I said, it's still not 100%. There are still flaws in the systems, but those are like how Microsoft has their own multi-factor authentication through different things that you have to identify yourself for the system to believe that it's you are who you say you are. And so we have gateway systems for cloud computing as well, that they also serve as bouncers that make sure that check your identity and make sure that this person logging in is truly that person. And so all these multi-factor authentications are there. And what Google is doing is just really to make sure that it's a human being doing. And all of this is also a way of collecting data in the end. Wow.
Yes.
Your name. I actually wanted to ask about the hacking. Another AI company hacked Microsoft in order to corrupt their content.
Good question. I think they try everything. I you know, like I mentioned that with deep learning, there is also deep fake. You know, so whilst the systems are learning, the computers are learning, there are people that are also trying to use that in different ways to kind of take advantage of the systems or what's already happening. You know, you check the dark web, and there are tons and tons of people like that, in groups actually. Now it's organized crime, groups like that are trying to break into systems, trying to use AI to break into systems. One example is what I said, that they can generate your voice, they can generate your image and act like you. They can generate something to grab all your banking information and all that through AI. And so yes, the threat is there. Is there going to be a future where all these threats are being taken care of? I believe so, because of for the greater good and for some of the good companies out there and some of the fight that they want to take.
Okay, now you have the opportunity. Finish me.
Yes, Google is, I don't know if you guys are using Google Bard, B-A-R-D. Yeah, Google has a chatbot, works pretty much the same as Copilot and ChatGPT. Yeah.
So such companies, they are work with each other on who to rise with regards to the innovation of AI, or they are working together. Because if they want to rise, or if this company wants to rise over this other company, I don't understand why something that is meant to help humanity to improve the lives of humans it's like war between these companies. Because if, and also I want to ask, the data being collected, is there a specific place where all these data are being stored? If they are being stored in a specific place, being controlled or like the bounty and all that by a specific company, and the entire world is supposed to go like start to adapt to this follow what is happening. Isn't that putting us at risk? Like it's like we are being controlled by a specific group of people without our knowledge. And with the, I want to know more about the consumer privacy. I want to know more because even with the laws and the policies that are being founded in these tech countries and stuff, I don't think that is it's enough to stop the company. It's enough to stop the company from trying to extend what they're doing. Yeah. So I want to know more about this. So why are they along with each other? Why are they all working together to help all of us? Yeah.
Okay. I think we forget that there's a business aspect to all of this happening, and people need to make money. People will get greedy making money. And so I'll be honest with you that with all these, the rise of every technological innovation that has ever happened, that will ever happen, there's always going to be a business component to it. What is the drive behind it? Why are they building these systems? Why do we do this? It's all about money. It's all about money for all these tech giants. It's money. You know, recently when Google decided to lay a bunch of people, thousands of people off, that's what they said. They want to align their resources into AI because they feel like this is where the money is going to come from. So it's a money making motivated. Yes. I like how you started with your question, because you said when two nations are going to war, information is critical. Because if America want to go to war with China, for example, we want to know a lot of things. That's why we have the CIA. Why do we have secret agencies? Because we want intelligence. We want to know what China is doing, what they are building, what systems they have in place, all these things. Because the more information you have, it helps you to be defeat your enemy. And I'll take this, to the biblical side of things as well. Lack of knowledge, my people perish, But when you look at hierarchy of how things sit, you think about knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Because you need to have the knowledge, you need to have understanding into the knowledge, and the right application of that is what we see as wisdom. So the Bible says, in all you're getting, get understanding. And so yes, information in all of this is very, very important because that's how you defeat it. So this is where it comes in, where we challenge people, because whether we like it or not, the future is going to look a certain way, and it's only those people that decide to take advantage of it. Why is Microsoft where they are today? That's because a guy or a man now named Bill Gates had an advantage several decades ago. I don't know if you've read about the life of Bill Gates and how he got into computers and coding at a very young age. But Malcolm Gladwell's book, which called Outliers, I don't know if you've read it, great book, I recommend it. If you read Outliers, it will tell you all about these guys that have made names, from the Microsoft, Bill Gates to basketball players and all these things. And then it tells you the advantages they had over other people, not because they were superhumans or they were super genius, but because they had certain advantages in life and they capitalized on them. Bill Gates growing up as a child, his parents went into in the medical field. His closest, the university that was close to his school, his dad donated money to them. So during the early days of computers, he was allowed as a young kid to use a big computer that sat in the library that they wouldn't allow any other kid to use because they knew his dad. So you see, he took advantage of something and he used it very well. So imagine that if everyone is exposed to the same information, if everyone is exposed to the same privilege, the then it rests on you. Are you going to take advantage of it? Then if not, it's just going to be that few set of people that are going to control it. It's very unfortunate, but that's how our world has always been. Information is going to be there, things are going to be open. People on this side of the world, how are we going to catch up? Like I was saying, if we put it in the bucket, I think that Africa will still be lagging a little bit behind. As we speak today, we don't even have proper internet systems in place, which is a very big challenge. Internet is 10 times more expensive in Ghana than in the US. So you can imagine all the things that you would need internet to be able to do. Why would a company in Ghana want to migrate to the cloud? Because their data center, the closest they can get is South Africa. Why can't we build data centers in Ghana? The problem is that we don't have reliable internet systems. And so people that have it are always going to be at the front of this door. So it's really, that's how it is. That's why we want to strategically align ourselves. We want to strategically place ourselves in areas where opportunities flow so we can take advantage of them. Thank you very, 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 very much.
I know you want. I know there's a lot of
questions.
I know you want to ask a lot of questions. I think it has been really, really an insightful session. Having you share all the things that you've shared with us and all the things that you've said to us. But especially, I want you to get the camp video. Please hold on. We should. In the next 10 minutes, we'll be closing. I want to ask this question for the said leader. What can we do? How can SEN position itself as a STEM agency in an AI generation? It's for her and for everyone, so that in case there are people who here want to join the agency, who want to position themselves to be relevant in our time, they'll be able to position themselves to be relevant in our time.
I would say you guys are already doing everything right. STEM is really the future, in terms of developments and all that. I think that these drums need to be big every single day. We need to keep being the drums of STEM education every single day, because that's what transforms nations and economies and everything. And I would even say for you guys, how you can align yourself, just keep fostering what you're doing. And then for those of you who have the dream or aspiration to to travel abroad, to go to places like the United States. I was reading an article recently that is very interesting that over 50 decades ago was when India decided they were going to take STEM really, really hard. And now we see the outcome of that. Just a couple of months ago, they petitioned the US government to create a special section for H-1B visas only for chip-making companies. Chip-making companies, you know, chips, right? That powers everything we see, you know. Chips are into everything that we see. And so, for chip-making, because as we are looking at all these things, chip is a very, very important component in everything that we are doing, like computer chips, we put in refrigerators, anything that have anything digital to it has got a chip in it. It's the brain power. And so now that America is trying to bring this business back home, now currently we have TSMC, is that the Taiwanese TCMS, yes, leading the world in terms of chip manufacturing, and America is fighting really hard to bring this back home. I know that NVIDIA has started making AI chips, and a lot of other companies are aligning. So Microsoft is also in talks to start venturing into the chip processing company. Now they have tried to allocate a block for H-1B visa. So that tells you that when someone is in STEM, which already, if you are in any of these STEM pillars, if you are in America and you graduate, you get, for your OPT, you get 3 years. Versus someone that just did business administration or accounting or anything like that. They only get 1 year, but you get 3 years. So you see, be thinking strategically, where am I going to align myself? I meet a lot of international students. They come to my church, and conversations are always the same. Well, I didn't really want to do the PhD, and I'm only doing it because I need to find a way to extend my visa. And I asked them, so what are you doing? They said, oh, agriculture science and something. I'm like, that's great. But the thing is that at the end of the day, if you are really thinking into the future of wanting to remain in this country, you should have thought like how the Indians think. About 70% of all H-1B visa in America goes to the Indians. Why is that? Because they know, they think about the future. They know, and then they align themselves with jobs that gonna run after them. They align themselves in areas that they're always going to stay relevant. And so with the H-1B visa, they get it all. And imagine they said they have shortage of expertise in the area of chip making, and they, like right away, they need over 72,000 people. That's 72,000 green cards right away.
Wow.
You see, and so this is going to keep going into the future. And so I think it's good to kind of expose them to some of these things as well, kind of thinking strategically, if it's not just here, and then thinking, where am I going to find myself, where am I going to be, and what would kind of having a clear roadmap of what that would look like, and aligning themselves with the right things, because sometimes it's not just about trying to get a visa out of the economic hardship of Ghana and finding yourself and doing something that's not going to get you anywhere. At the end of the day, you're going to feel stranded, and you're going to feel like maybe it was better just being in Ghana almost. But if you can align yourselves with everything that's happening in training and equipping, the folks that come in here, I think that would really help.
So you are losing out if you are not thinking AI. You are losing out when you are not thinking STEM. You are losing out when you are not thinking in this direction. And STEM can also align itself with what is going on to help a lot of young people, we can start getting young people to think AI, to think STEM, to think some of these things. And probably we can set for ourselves a goal. In the next 5 to 10 years, what do we want to do in this line? I believe that Peter Sakon is going to help us to think through some of these things. So it has been a great discussion. So I've learned a lot, and I'm surprised as to the kind of information that I've heard this evening. And I believe that for all of us here, we're going to take what we already know about seriously. You understand? We are going to work hard towards becoming relevant the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being here. Before I get Mr. Sapon to take his seat, I want to say two things. The first thing is that if you care to know, I got to know Mr. Sapon through one of our own people who was part of us and who is still part of us, who left Ghana and went to the US, and he still stayed in contact and in touch with us. And for me, that is something exceptional. You don't find people connecting when they are not around you, and they still connect. They still keep in touch. You don't find such people. So I want to, if Daxon is watching, I don't know whether he's watching, but if he's watching, I want to thank Daxon so much for connecting us to Mr. Peter Sapon, who has now become part of the Youth Arise system, the family. We want to thank him so much. I want to say a big round of applause. Let's clap for Daxon. If he's not watching, let's take a part of this video and show it to him and say thank you for doing such an excellent job and for caring not just about himself but for the continent of Africa. Second thing is that for taking time, during Christmas I spent some few minutes with Peter online, and we were discussing some of the issues on this continent and all that. And even before that meeting, he's been thinking about how can he help us here in Ghana and how can he support the kind of work we do, and we are so grateful to him. And for taking time off your 10 days, how many days? 10 days? Yeah. 10 days in Ghana to spend about 3 or 4 hours with us here. We have something little that we want to present to you here as a sign of appreciation for taking time off your schedule.
Is that jollof rice?
Oh, jollof rice is there. Jollof rice will be after everyone is gone.
rice balls and peanut butter soup.
At least there's something you can do better than Nigerians.
He loves that.
So on behalf of, I think, on behalf of the whole Youth Arise system, please be around. And our state director, I want to present this. Jeremy, is it Jeremy? Gerald, can you join us? We want to present this to Mr. Sapon. Thank you. Wow. Bless. It's optional. He can decide to take a look at it now, or he can decide to send it home. Whatever that he wants to do with it. It's up to him for us. So we can allow him. You want to look at it? You want everyone to see what is in there? What do you think? Yeah. Of course. Let's do it. Yes.
No idea what you just did. Like, I'm actually going to a wedding tomorrow, and I realized that I didn't bring any African wear, and so my friend was supposed to pick me up this afternoon to bring me to a someplace to just buy something off the shelves to bring it back. And then his car broke down. He couldn't pick us up. So you remember I told you I said we were gonna grab a taxi to come here. And so I told him tomorrow I'll just wear anything and come to the traditional wedding in the morning, and then the wedding is in the afternoon. And now I get this. Thank you, really appreciate that. Thank you, and for being part of what we do.
I also want to give this out.
Wow.
So this book and this swag.
I'll bet.
Oh yeah, I'll let you handle this. Just ask a question where gets the answer can have one. So 2 questions maybe. Yeah, in relation to the discussion. Any question? Oh, he's
still on, so maybe you can answer that.
Okay, the first to respond. Does AI have a sense of humor?
Yes,
Everybody said no, I said yes.
I'm going to say no. However, because it can't still replicate human feelings. If you use a pun, you know, I'm very punny. You know, I'm funny, all right? You see, the system can get confused. So that is an issue. And you can go look at some articles about it. People have tried, you know, and sometimes it is successful, but if you go deeper and deeper, it still isn't quite there. So who was it?
No one put it. Because it was collective. No one raised the
Oh, I have a question. I saw
So you all said you use ChatGPT, right? Okay. So what is the system behind ChatGPT? No, OpenAI is the company. Yes, it is an algorithm. What is the name? What? No, that one is only used to create images. It's called something AI.
Ask AI.
No.
Generating AI.
Generative AI. She can pick what she wants. You want the book or you want... There you go. There you go.
Now we have one more.
One more question.
Okay, I'm taking one more. I'm trying to think one more. Okay, great. This is very easy. What is Microsoft's own in-house AI?
Copilot.
Copilot.
So we are going to begin for coming and for staying through to the end. We are going to get a Microsoft Pen. To my online audience, you are going to get the online Okay, so I'm not going to give it now. If you still stay with us for the next 10 minutes before we close, thanks so much. Let's clap again. Let's clap. So I want to let Gerald share some few words with us. Then our leader will also share some few words with us before we close. Let's start with Gerald. Gerald, share with us.
Good evening. My name is Jarrett, yes. And thank you for allowing me to come and join my good friend Peter here. I'm just amazed at the turnout on a Friday night. What else would you do on a Friday night?
Chilling, having fun.
Yeah, this is fun though. So thank you. You guys had some really good questions. And I just keep encouraging you to continue with your adventure. Stay curious, you know, have that knowledge backbone, and really get that experience. Because it's with experience that you're going to understand if the AI content you receive is right or wrong, or needs to be changed. So you got to be smarter than the computer. So thank you very much, and I will give it back.
Yeah, just a few words in closing. When I think about, Africa, where we find ourselves today, I think you would all agree with me that we still have a very long way to go. But yes, we're going to get there. And it's going to take you and I to get there. And so just the encouragement in this with everything that's happening, never stop learning. Like what Jerry said, that this is something that has been said at Microsoft all the time: stay curious. Staying curious is what's gonna, drive that learning, because you want to know what's out there, what's coming, and how can I strategically align myself to what's coming and go with the wave of all the revolution and the change that is hitting our world, and that's gonna impact and change everything that we do. So I want to encourage you, stay on track, do what you're doing, and remember to put God first.
Okay, so are you ready with the video? Are you ready? Well, let's clap for the one who put all this program together.
Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you all for being here. How many of us are happy to have been here today? I'm happy that the whole room is happy to have been here. And there's a call on everyone here. We have more activities like these, and we want everyone here to be a part of our agency. We did this beautiful activity, this beautiful event that you are seeing, and we want you to become a part of us to organize more beautiful events. So there's a call on everyone here. Sign up to be a part of our agency and join us. Make Ghana and also reach the global community and send them out there. So thank you very much.
So the video. Okay, so let's go with the video. The video. So as we get ready to watch the video, please, how do they register? Is there any form they must fill? What do they do to register? Can we, what, is there any form that we fill? Are you ready?
Where are the lights?
Okay,
Switch off the lights. Switch off the lights.
Before we watch the video, there's a form to fill. And for now,
Hold on.
we'll send a sheet around.
Is it the same video or the Julia's video? Okay, cool.
We'll send a sheet around for everyone interested in being a part of the agency, so that we'll take your contact details and then you can fill the form from there. So there's an online form to be filled.
Is it possible to get a sheet at the registration desk? And this is what will happen. Those who go there, who really want to be a part, they'll get the pens first.
Yeah.
When the exam
Give it to everyone. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much as well. So please go to the registration desk to be a part of the agency.
Let's do. Then we can play the video. Sure. I will turn off the light.
An era
Maybe this one.
raising and teaching young people to make a meaningful contribution to their society. A new order of bringing young people to the forefront of global change. A new order of global human transformation. Welcome to the new era. Welcome to the human rights system. Leadership is at the core of our organization. We cultivate leadership qualities, empowering young individuals to become change makers in their communities. Our capacity building activities foster personal growth, resilience, and social impact. From the plain to the local, Togo to France, Jubilee is igniting the programs, we are shaping the next generation of leaders, innovators, and change makers. Together, we are building a brighter future. We believe in the power of agriculture to transform lives and communities. Our dedicated youth members are harnessing the potential of agriculture to create sustainable and prosperous futures.
Can we pause the video? Okay, so we are able to show the video, but we will show it next time. I have, once again, I want to thank you for being very, very grateful to you for coming. The next thing is that there are two major announcements. Our community of the charity campaign is coming off on Easter Saturday. So if you want to be part of our community of the charity, what's the goal of the campaign? The campaign is that every year we choose a private community, we look for a need they have, we try to solve their needs, and then we try parties for the children in our community, so that we put a smile on their faces. So the goal is to put a smile on the faces of the less privileged in our community. And this year, I think we identify a need in a very deprived school somewhere for their sake. We want to see how we meet our needs. So if you want to join the community of a charity campaign, let's also have a sheet and write your name. Let's join. It's on Easter holiday, Saturday. So that's the call is Holy Saturday. Come join us and let's put smiles on the faces of the less privileged. The next thing, and a very important announcement, is on April 28th to March the 2nd, we are going to have a very, very, very important event. For us, it is, if not the most important event for us this year, it's one of our most important events. That's what we call the Sharpening Your Soul Conference.
Improve and progress in their work. That is why it's important
Okay, so thank you very much also for coming.
Every corner of the country to community
Let's pause. Okay, so thank you. So, Sharpen Yourself Conference is a conference that you must attend. If you are a student of history, for my wife is here, let's start. So, if you're a student of history, you understand that something interesting happens at every 40 years. And if you care to do a generation span, the current generation is coming. What is this whole thing I'm talking about? You get a better understanding of it, how you can really find a place in what is going to happen and sharpen yourself. So don't miss out. If you read, please test the paper. Let's get the registration paper. So first, those who register for agency get a pen. Register for CACC get a pen. Those who register for CAM also get a pen. And when there is some left, we give it to everyone. Sen, I want to congratulate you for organizing this event and putting it. Let's clap for Sen. And we are looking forward to more of these things in the coming years. Thank you very much. And I hand over to you.
Thank you very much. How many of you agree this was a very interesting discussion? I don't know about you, but I've got a new AI co-pilot. So thank you very much, Mr. Peter Sapone. Thank you very much, Mr. Moses Bakodewa. That was a very brilliant discussion for me. I got to learn a lot of things. I want to particularly highlight about clouds. When I said about clouds, all I imagined was people taking a plane going to the clouds and maybe saying something out there in the clouds. So I actually got to realize that today in the wet or boring weather, Mr. Sabo, you say someone else's laptop to do something for yourself. So that's it for me. And thank you very much for also showing us that you are very optimistic about AI. I don't know why, but for me, I have a lot of AI will take over me, AI will take over me very soon, and all of those kind of things. But then today's discussion has taken away a lot of doubts for me, and then once again, thank you very much for that. So please give a round of applause again for that. And the things that we learned, and for, I believe strongly that most of us are going to live here with a lot of things that we are going to do separately now. And even we may start promoting AI in our classrooms and all of that, I don't know, but yes, that's what I think. So I'll take the closing remarks from Mr. Sapon. So ask once again the
Well, they say that when you are interested in doing something, you only do it when it's convenient. But when you are passionate about something, you accept no excuses. Have you heard about this before? Okay. And so take whatever that you are passionate about and go for it. And whatever that you are doing, if you don't have the passion in it, I'll tell you, just drop it and go look for something else that you are really passionate about. Because it's the passion that you have towards everything that's going to bring the drive. I get really passionate about technology, and sometimes my wife is like, it looks like we eat and drink technology. Because I'm always having some kind of talk. I'm always discussing something about technology, something new coming, and it excites me. And so, even if I deep sleep at night, when you wake me and ask me anything, I'm not gonna go like, I think I'm gonna answer something because of how passionate I am about that. And so just be passionate about whatever you're doing. If you don't think that you have a lot of passion in it, drop it, find something else. Don't just be interested. Be really passionate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So thank you once again. I'd like to acknowledge our online guests, those who joined us online. There were lots of questions, lots of comments, and all of that. And then some questions were not able to have been answered unfortunately, but we'll find some ways and means to have Mr. Peter answer them probably in due time for you all. So thank you once again for that. Now I'll take the vote of thanks from the Peter Ted.
Very much. On behalf of Rise and the Senate of my PJC, I would extend my sincere gratitude to everyone making it a point to be here today, and for your active participation in today's event, focusing on the AI's transformative role in education and industry. I would also want to express my heartfelt appreciation to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Peter Sapon, and our global CEO, Mr. Moses Babewa, and his friend, Gerald, who shared their valuable insights and expertise on the intersection of AI with the industry and that of education. A special thank you to our attendees for gracing this program. Additionally, I extend my gratitude to the organizers and the media team for their unparalleled support, for bringing us together and ensuring a seamless experience for all of us who were able to grace this occasion. I learned some things from the event today as well that will add to my learning. Yes, as a level 400 student, my project, I learned about Microsoft Copilot, which I'll use and I would like to also teach my friends so we can use it for our PowerPoint presentation, which will be very good for us. Thank you very much. And thank you very, very much, Mr. Peter Sapon, for your time and for everything, and Mr. Moses Babewa and Gerard, and to our audience here and online. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone, once again. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being a part of the program. Thank you for contributing for this event. I'm privileged to have been the MC for this event. My name is Mula Esmakola. We take the closing prayer by Miss Emmanuela.
Okay, please let's bow our heads. Father, in the name of Jesus, we are grateful for how far you brought us. We thank you for this gathering. We pray that whatever we learned here, we will utilize it in our lives in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ella. Please, please don't leave. It's important that we keep a memory. And so we take a good picture. The leaders will guide us in taking a good picture in this auditorium. And also don't forget, when you are walking out, please don't forget to sign. Sign up with SEM, sign up for the SYSC, that's the Sharpening Your Soul Conference, and sign up also for the Community Women Charity Campaign. Thank you once again for your time. Yes, there will also be some little refreshments from our organizers for everyone for the time spent with us today. Please also note that we will send some post-evaluation links or post-surveys to your emails. So just to guide us, in the next drinks that will be organized, to guide us on some of the views, the things we can learn out of what we have had today, so that guides us in the next event and that's it we are waiting for you. Please let's all move forward. Yeah, please come forward. Please let's move forward. Kindly let's move forward and let's stand just right behind the seats. Please let's move forward. Hello. Let's move forward. Please let's all move forward. Kindly move forward. Kindly move forward. Please, humble friends and family, let's move. Let's move.
If you are humble as myself, please move forward.
Hello, please move forward.